Good morning, buenos dias, out here on my early morning run, and hope you are cool with me being winded making this video. I am running up a hill and gonna get in the video now because when I'm running, the thoughts are flowing through my head vigorously. I get angry. That's what I use for fuel. I contemplate the plights of society and the hypocrisy and all the bullshit, and nothing better than to stomp it out 1 foot at a time so that in your normal life with your family and friends and in your workflow, you are more tranquil and grateful. That's what exercise does for me. So it's August 2022, and I went vegan in August of 2012. That means in about 10 days is my 10-year vegan anniversary. There's some little chihuahuas coming to bark at me. I'll show you that. That should be fun in a minute or two. And I saw this clip going around about Gordon Ramsay and the little lambs. He was in a barn, sees some lambs and says, "Oh, yummy, which one of you is going into the oven?" Now, I'm gonna talk about what I think about that and how the internet and TikTok, which I'm not on by the way, but I just heard through other sources, YouTube or whatever. Hey little chihuahuas. I heard that people were mad at Gordon Ramsay for calling these living cute little lambs yummy because he was going to cook them in a moment. Now, before I talk about why I think society and TikTok and the people hating on Gordon Ramsay are to blame in this scenario and not Gordon Ramsay himself, so you might be surprised about that. But before I talk about that, first I'll say I thought I saw somewhere that Gordon Ramsay proclaimed himself to be vegan. Like, that's like old news, a year or two ago. Maybe I'm tripping. Write down in the comments below. But I guess if he's putting out content calling little lambs yummy and he's about to cook them, I guess he's not vegan anymore, which doesn't surprise me because guess what? No one's vegan anymore. I am the last vegan on social media. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm speaking in hyperbole, but more or less that is true. Coming on my 10-year vegan anniversary, not one moment in those 10 years did I have a temptation or did I eat animal products. You know, maybe traveling around Thailand or Malaysia, you know, someone put a little ghee or butter or milk in a dish, even though I asked that it's vegan. Of course, that probably happens once a year, something like that, but that's no problem. That's just life. So I've been fully vegan 10 years, and the vast majority, 90+% of the people that early on I knew or identified as being in the vegan community are not vegan anymore. This isn't just YouTubers and the whole ex-vegan exodus. These are just regular old average friends of mine who live normal lives, who just, some of them who even seem more hardcore about raw vegan diets or even animal rights than me, and now they're eating animal products again. It's crazy. Just the propaganda machine of the Liver King and Joe Rogan and, sorry, car's going by. And I've seen it a lot personally in like the spiritual vegan community of people wanting to get back to ancestral diets of honoring the death of a wild animal or the power of organ meats. I mean, you see it everywhere. No one's vegan anymore. And I actually don't think that there's some big movement away from veganism. I think it's still a growing movement. It's just when you've been in the game for a decade, naturally, because it does take discipline to be vegan. Of course it does. I see people grilling meat making fried sunny side up eggs, drinking milkshakes and raw goat cheese. Looks good to me. I'm a human. I'm not gonna lie. It looks good on a purely immediate taste level, in the same way that even though I'm stone cold sober for almost 2 years now, a cigarette or a joint in the moment sounds nice, but long term and the implications, I'm not about it. It's exactly how I am about eating animal products. I understand they're yummy and delicious while you're chewing them up, but everything that comes with it, the health consequences, the ethical consequences, and the environmental consequences, make me disciplined enough to not feed into that temptation. But most people are fucking lazy and don't have the discipline that I have. I'm just gonna keep it real. I feel like no more filters necessary. YouTube and the internet now is about being unfiltered and just being honest. And people who are offended can go away, and people who like what someone says when it's raw and authentic, they'll stick around. That's what I'm doing. I got a successful, look at a black squirrel. I got a successful permaculture fruit farm. I got a beautiful family, wife and child. I got businesses opening out of the wazoo, cabin rentals, farmers markets, food products and grocery stores, YouTube. I'm chilling. I'm killing it. I'm doing good. I got nothing to lose. So I'm just gonna be honest and real. And so now let's get back to the Gordon Ramsay and why I think it's actually society and the people hating on him that are a bigger problem than Gordon Ramsay calling lambs yummy in the first place. Now, obviously, I am not supporting what Gordon Ramsay put out, just looking at a cute lamb and saying yummy. But at least he's being honest. And the vast majority of content around meat eating on social media is just a video or picture of a well-cooked, finished steak plated on a plate with a garnish of herbs, and they say yummy. Now, no one would bat an eye at that, but Gordon Ramsay was keeping it real and saying, hey, in order to get that final product, which everyone, majority of people in society will clap and praise and put a like for, I'm gonna keep it real and show you that step one is to take one of these cute little lambs that's living their life and murdering them. So, of course, I wish that Gordon Ramsay instead said, look, in this video, I used to look at these lambs and think yummy, but now I see them as cute individual creatures just like my dog, and I would never want to murder my dog for a meal. So why don't you eat your rice and beans and sweet potato burrito instead? But no, he said yummy, and people got mad at him for that. If you got mad at Gordon Ramsay saying yummy to a lamb, but you buy animal products and you've never killed an animal, you are the worst part of society, because that means your blinded ignorance and hypocrisy probably bleeds into everything in your life. If you don't think every time you eat animal products that there was an animal that had to be abused and controlled by a human and ultimately killed in order for you to get that food product, if you don't think about that every time, you're probably also not thinking about when you are driving to go get a coffee when you could just leave 10 minutes earlier and take a walk, and you're not thinking about leaving the lights on, and you're not thinking about buying new fashion items instead of buying reused. You're not thinking about buying a single head of lettuce with a big plastic package around. Your head is in the sand. So my biggest thing in life is to try to keep it real about my impact on beautiful Mother Earth, which we are rapidly abusing and watching its decline with record high temperatures due to climate change sea level rise, also due to the melting of the ice caps from heating the earth by burning more fossil fuels and letting out greenhouse gases into our atmosphere, which, by the way, industrial animal agriculture is the worst thing for climate change. It's the biggest emitter of greenhouse gases, which is heating up our planet, which is melting our ice caps, which are making sea level rise. So I'll admit to the things that I need to work on. I still have a truck and a car that I drive to sell to our farmers market. Now I only use it twice a week, but I should try to use it even less somehow. I didn't build our home with 100% renewable materials. If I ever do another project in my life, I am absolutely going to make that pact. It just wasn't possible with the circumstance I was in at the time 3 years ago, but moving forward, I will. And I honor that I have room to improve on that and to keep it more real. Now, the biggest thing is we're growing all our own food, and we're working so hard in the fields and in the jungle in order to do that. And that feels damn good. But yeah, so just to close it up, 10 years, a 10-year vegan anniversary, you know, I try to never repeat actions in my life that I'm doing blindly. I think that's a huge problem we have with society. We take what we grew up with, we assume that it's just the way to live, and we don't question it. So, and I think that's bad. So, a part of my practice for my 10-year vegan anniversary is I've been thinking, do I really want to keep being vegan? Do I think it's the healthiest diet for longevity and disease prevention? Do I think it's the most sustainable and ethical? Am I enjoying it? Do I enjoy it? Or am I just doing it as a discipline act, whatever? And guess what? 10 years deep, I am just as positive, confident, and happy living a vegan lifestyle as I did 10 years back as a 19-year-old freshman in college when I went vegan. So that's pretty awesome. I'm the last vegan on the internet. Here we are. And Gordon Ramsay should go vegan, shouldn't call little baby lambs yummy and post it on the internet. But what is even worse than Gordon Ramsay doing that are meat eaters and people commenting, "That's so sad, don't do that," when in fact they're eating animal products every day and don't even think about where their animal products come from. So at least what Gordon Ramsay did in that video was remind all the ignorant TikTok users that your lamb chop or whatever comes from a cute little baby lamb. And I bet he got a lot of people thinking that day about that. So in a way, maybe he was doing some sort of psychological manipulation, trying to get people to think about where their food comes from. Who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me suggestions on other things to rant about on my runs. And peace out. If you want to rent a cabin on our farm, DM me on Instagram, or my email is jacksonfostercr@gmail.com.